I'm Nicole Wheeler, and today I'm going to show you how to make an easy and adorable lace dress using Big Z Fabric's Angel Damask Sequins sheer lace fabric in white. Thank you, Big Z Fabric.
Okay, so the things you're going to need for this project are about 3 yards Angel Damask Sequin sheer lace fabric from Big Z Fabric, about 3 yards of lining fabric, thread, straight pins, fabric scissors, blank paper, a clear ruler, and a writing utensil for patterning. You're going to need a basic bodice sloper for your size. I found this one online for free in 1/4 inch scale that I then sized up to 1 inch scale and adjusted slightly for my size. And of course you'll need a sewing machine.
Alright, so once you have your 2 basic pattern pieces for the top part of the dress, we're going to cut it out from both the fashion fabric and the lining fabric. Now remember, the front piece we're going to cut on the fold, and the back piece we're going to cut 2 out of. So I'm going to fold my fashion fabric, this beautiful lace, in half to cut it on the fold. Now I'm going to fold this fabric a little bit different because it's got this beautiful pattern that I want to be lined up just right in the front of the bodice of the dress. So I'm going to match these patterns and make sure the bottom edge lines up as I'm folding. I'm going to use my front piece on the fold. And I'm going to pin my pattern to the fabric. I'm going to very carefully line up the pattern and the bottom. Place my front bodice piece on the fold and pin it into place. I'm going to cut this front piece out. To repeat the same with the lining layer. Once again, making sure that I cut the front piece on the fold and the back piece to cut too. So then when I'm finished cutting the top part of the dress, I'll have 2 back pieces from the fashion fabric, 2 back pieces from the lining fabric, 1 piece for the front out of the fashion fabric, and 1 piece out of the lining for the fashion fabric. Now once those are cut, I need to use the pattern pieces to trace the darts onto the fabric. Now it's very important to sew darts into garments as you're making them. The darts will create triangle shapes that take the 2-dimensional fabric and make it fit nicely around a 3-dimensional body. So on the wrong side of the fabric, which is the fabric with no sequins, I'm going to use my pattern piece and a pencil to draw in my darts. Flip this one and trace them on the other side. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the lining fabric. I'll use the pattern piece to trace my darts. The other side. Then I will do the same with the back pieces. And then we'll stitch the darts into place. So after putting in a small roll hem into the lining layer, I'm going to stitch the lining layer and the lace fabric up the center back to close the skirt up. Not all the way to the top though, I'm only going to sew to within about 6 inches of the top. To allow room to put in closures like a zipper. skirt that I'm only going to sew. I'm going to leave about 6 inches open for at the top for the zipper. And the same with the already hemmed lining layer. I'm going to leave about this 6 inches top open for the zipper. Alright, so the next step is to put the 2 layers of the skirt together. So I'm going to put the lining layer inside of the lace layer. I'm going to line up the center back seams that we left a little bit open for the zipper. And I'm just going to line up the top edges all the way around. And I'm going to pin it into place all the way around. Okay, so now that we've got the skirt part sewn together and the top part sewn together, it's time to stitch the 2 together at the waist. Now the skirt piece is going to be a lot bigger than the bodice piece because the bodice piece is fitted through the waist, whereas the skirt needs to be gathered. So we're going to just hand gather this as we go, pinning the right sides together. We're going to be very careful to get the gathers sort of even as we go, and we're going to pin it a lot because the more pins that we use, the easier that it's going to go together. So I'm going to take my top piece and flip it upside down, and once again I'm going to line up the center back parts. We're going to be my starting point. The center back of the skirt needs to start lining up with the center back of the top. So I'm going to line up those corners, and that's where I'm going to start pinning. Now I'm going to move on over to the other side of the skirt, and once again line up the center back of the skirt with the center back of the top. Line up those corners and pin that. Alright, so I've got the skirt all gathered up to the bodice, lots of pins in place holding them together. I'm going to stitch through all of the layers with a straight stitch, all the way from the center back all the way around to the opposite side.